What is up, YouTube? That's here, and today I'm bringing you guys another amazing team made by one of the valuable members of my Patreon. We're fixing more Patreon teams, and this time we're going to be using a team that has Kingdra, ShareAlike, Colossal, Urshifu, Toxtricity Talonflame. I'm loving the Toxtricity Talonflame tech that we've been seeing lately. I think Kingdra ShareAlike is really good. I think Urshifu Colossal is really good. This team is a perfect example, and I chose to highlight this team second because I really think this team is a great example of one that shows 3 different crazy comps that your opponent has to guess which one you're going to do. Are you going to go ShareAlike Kingdra? Are you going to go Urshifu Colossal? Toxtricity Talonflame? Which one are they going to try to beat? Because the things that beat the Kingdra, lose to the Toxtricity. And the things that beat the Colossal, right, lose the Toxtricity as well. The things that beat the Toxtricity lose to the Kingdra. It's like a whole rock, paper, scissors game, and it forces your opponent to play correctly. And even if they do, the ball's still in your court, because if it's really obvious what they're going to do to beat your one thing that kind of dumpsters them, you just don't do that thing and do something different. So hopefully you guys are liking this little series. Remember, if you want to see a full pace spin breakdown review where not only do I talk about all the EVs of this team that were submitted, I'm going to fix all of the EVs, I'm going to fix all the moves, and I'm going to talk about how I would personally put my own spin on this team to make it the best it can be. If you guys want to see that stuff, stick around or fast forward till the end of the video. You can also let me know the answer to the question of the day, and if you are actually liking this little series where I fix teams submitted by you, the loyal viewers. So hopefully you guys are liking it. This is actually a lot of fun doing videos made exclusively for YouTube as opposed to just doing highlights. So let me know what you think about them, and other than that, let's get right under the games. Here we go. All right, going up into our very first game of the day, I really do like how aggressive this team is with like Charizard, Ninetales, and the Salazzle. Potential for a little bit of Lucario action with the beat up from the Zard and the beat up from the Salazzle. Like, this is a super cool team. And there's also like an Oranguru in it, so it has a little bit of a Sun TR option. Remember, this is a rental code. I'm actually just noticing that red card was supposed to be an eject button on the pace spin submitted. Guys, make sure your pace spins you send for these team submission streams are correct, because it is actually super important. I guess that does change how I'm going to play this. Like, red card's still okay, but not necessarily the best. I think we just want to go Rain, though. Rain against Sun is pretty fun, and I actually think just Colossal is just, like, kind of decent. Like, oh, you're going to go with, like, a Fire Attack? Let me just switch to my Colossal and have a pretty good time. I guess I could also just bring in the Talonflame's also just kind of nutty here. Yeah. We just got to go Talonflame. So we're not using the Colossal, but the really cool thing about this team is that it has so many max options. Has the ability to go to Urshifu. I just want to make sure if this is I'm like double checking myself. Is this G-Max? All right, it is G-Max, which is actually not the best. You probably do want the regular Urshifu for this team. And like I said, I'm using this team. I'm showing you guys how I play the teams submitted from you guys on Patreon, but I've already fixed like a lot of the things. Like, I just want to talk about the things that I'm going to be fixing. I think, I really don't think that you really need Scarf on this Urshifu set, and I also think that you need to tweak the EVs a little bit and also take away the G-Max just because you want to have that weather control. Like, imagine if Urshifu could set the rain for your Kingdra. That'd be pretty nice, and the G-Max one can't actually do that. So, let's see. Potential for fake outs, not if we max our Kingdra. I do think the right play here is probably just to go for the hard Prankster boosted Rain Dance. Let me actually think if there's a couple weird things that could happen. I think I'm okay with this. So yeah, we're just going to go for a straightaway Rain Dance. One of my lights just went out. And this is one of my absolutely favorite techs. I love going for the Rain Dance into like geysers and things like that are already boosted. So we're going to get to go for a big geyser up into this Lucario. And I think just taking out Lucario, this should be enough damage thanks to the Life Orb boost from the Kingdra to actually take out the Lucario. It looks like he's maxing probably with Lucario as well. Lucario, again, has a higher base speed than Kingdra, but remember, the ShareAlike is setting the Swift Swim to activate by going for a Prankster boost or Rain Dance. We've used this team combo 100 times. I think it's super, super good. I think ShareAlike is actually the best weather setter in this format. It's the best sun setter, it's the best rain setter, and remember, that's Salazzle. He would totally love to fake a Sap or a Ghost type. So we're super, super solid right here. Again, the only thing that would even half outplay this is like some sort of weird vested. It might actually totally be vested. Or like, let's see, maybe vested or like Sash Lucario. But it shouldn't be Sash. It looks like beat up Salazzle. It looks like he wants to go self beat up into his Lucario. Remember, Salazzle is a very underrated beat up mon. So he's going to really want to go for this. But I'm just going to one-shot that Lucario. And we're choosing to one-shot the Lucario as opposed to one-shot the Salazzle, because the Salazzle could definitely be holding a Focus Sash. So let's see, are you vested Lucario? Survey says... I don't know what survey says. Survey says you're done. Survey says, yeah, done. And let's see if he goes for actually that big beat up. Actually, if he does want to go for like a heat wave or like a sludge bomb to my Sableye, I just get a red card proc. Yeah, beat up. It's going to miss right there. And we taking those. Yo, we are reading what our opponents are going for. And I've just been hit by so many beat up teams. There's so many beat up teams on the ladder right now. And this is actually a pretty good lead against most of them, because like this outspeeds most of them. And like Terrakion, for example, would take super effective damage. Cobalion would take heavy damage. Like, we're in a pretty good spot. And I'm afforded the luxury of going for a lot of different things here. I actually think you just want to get rid of the Salazzle. Like, just go for a Shadow Sneak. And I guess we might as well just go for a Wormwood in this situation. Just because we want to get the attack drop off the Chinchino. I do think, though, that the Sableye doesn't really need to be using Shadow Sneak, again, because you don't have like an eject button or any sort of weird play you can make. So actually having Shadow Sneak on this guy isn't really needed for anything other than breaking sashes. You'd actually be just a little bit better running a bulkier set, having a more defensive item, and going for a foul play. I think Sableye is one of the better foul play mons in this format. So moving forward, just keep that in mind. You know, we could have actually played that completely differently. We could have let him get like +4 and went for an absolutely massive foul play after he had all those attack boosts. But he's going for a Rock Blast. Remember, we did lower that attack slot, so he's not going to be doing as much damage. And Skilling Chinchino going to be hitting 5 times, feeling fine right now. It's a big crit right there. You can always see crits go through attack drops. And he's going to hit me 5 times. He's going to activate our red card, which on this team submission was actually submitted as an eject button, which are completely different. An eject button makes me switch, and red card makes them switch. And I would say that red card is definitely a usable item. It's a really cool tech item choice that's great for stopping opponents that get like a weakness policy proc and want to sweep that don't necessarily get those hard KOs. Like, I understand the reason for a red card. The only time that you can actually correctly use a red card to block that type of play, though, is if you have Protect. So if you want to have like a red card Protect, you protect the turn there like +4 or +6 or +2 Maximon goes into you, or not. Actually, it also doesn't even work on Maximons. That's why it's not good. You need to be able to correctly wait out their Maximons and then use your red card. But let's see, what do we want to do here? Chinchino can't get hit, so we might as well just go up for the Zard. I'm just going to go big into the Zard. We actually should be able to KO through the Protect. Yeah, I think that red card in like previous formats was a great item. It's just in this format, it just really does fall short because you can't really use it against Maximons. So Shadow Sneak again, just breaking sashes if they exist. Can't really hit the Chinchino with anything else. Might as well just go for a massive geyser that would have KO'd through the Protect. Remember, we have the Rain, we have the Stab, we have the Life Orb. We have everything that we could possibly need to succeed, slamming in huge moves right now, and we get the crit. Yo, that's like the strongest move anyone's ever seen in Pokemon. Like, this guy's sitting over there right now and thinking like, oh my gosh, I can't believe my opponent gets the crits. At least they get to hit their Rock Blast. Let's see if they get any more crits here. You need one more crit, I think, to take out the Sableye, because that one little bit of bulk, we got. Yo, we hitting 5 times. Yo, we are staying alive. Call me the Bee Gees. That's what everyone should name their Sableye. You should all name their Sableye the Bee Gees. Shoutouts to the real ones that know enough about music. Let's just go for a big quash because we can. And I mean, I could just slam in so many different things. Yeah, this is fine. I can't hit it with anything else. So let's go for a Hydro. Should be able to get it. Quash is up. Yes, I could have taunted. I don't think there's anything that they could possibly do here. Survey says Hydro Pump. Making the connections. I'm sure this thing might be running to Kingdra. I don't think this is sashed. I don't think so. Yeah, the sash was definitely on that Salazzle. So pretty easy first game. Rain looks like it's still pretty good. And even if they did KO the Kingdra or even the Sableye, we had a Scarf Urshifu able to be brought out in the back, which is really, really good in this exact situation. I do think the Urshifu set can be tweaked a little bit, but we'll talk about that preferably in the next game. Let's hop into another one. Alright, so we have a little bit more standard stuff here. We have Lapras, Talonflame, Raichu, Urshifu, Serena, and Duraludon. This sounds like a really decent matchup for Toxtricity, kind of. I think Colossal could also be really, really good here. Do we just go Colossal? Do we just go Colossal and like let them dumpster us, but like set rocks win the game? That might be a pretty decent play. The problem with this, though, I actually do want to talk about this. The problem with that whole type of board is like if I let them do all that stuff. Let me do something like this. I don't like the fact that it's Urshifu's Choice Scarf. I really dislike the fact that it's Urshifu's Choice Scarf because if I want to go Aqua Jet my Colossal and like Dynamax with it, I'm stuck with a Scarfed Urshifu on the board, which is terrible. It's not the sauce. I think that we just have to bring these two as the last ones. I don't really like Kingdra here that much. Let's just see what we got. I think Toxtricity could still be really good here. I gotta watch out for that Raichu. I don't think they're stupid enough to lead with the Raichu. The way you actually want to play Raichu in this situation is to leave it in the back. And if you ever are afraid of that electric attack, then you just switch it in. So that means if I'm ever going to go for like a big G-Max Stun Shock or something, you know, you'd definitely be able to switch in the Raichu and bait me into going for that, wasting one of my max turns, effectively winning the game. So Lapras Serena, great way to lead with this. Actually, it's a really, really good lead. The only issue here, right, is that, like, what are you actually hitting? Like, I'm kind of looking at this board, and I have that Scarf Urshifu, like, I got my Colossal. I'm kind of, like, fishing for a Protect to give me a free policy proc. Like, imagine that. Imagine if you just had, like, a free policy proc, and then, like, next turn, so first of all, he's going to eat a close combat, and then, like, next turn, he eats, like, all of the damage, right? Let me think about it. My Wands in the back are Talonflame. Actually, he's just going to go for... Let me think about this exactly. I'm just gonna go for this. I just want to do it. I'm just gonna go for it. No, I want to see if I can get away with it. I want to Protect here. I don't know if he'll actually be able to like KO me with a Max Geyser through my Protect. He will if I'm proccing a policy. But he's maxing, right? So it means he's not using a Freeze Dry on my Urshifu. He's probably relying on Serena to deal with the Urshifu, but like, we can do like 30% here. Maybe 40, maybe 50. Maybe about 30 is what I'm thinking is realistic. And then maybe he'll just like proc our own policy for us. Protect. Well, now like I care. Like I care. I could have also Dynamax and set the Flare to make it so he'd do less damage. There's a couple things I could have done, but like he outspeeds us with that Lapras. That's the hard part. So let's see if we're proccing a policy. That is a crap ton of damage. Like if you're actually going for a Geyser, I will just KO you next turn. Like you can totally KO. You can totally try and KO this Cole. Don't KO me though. Oh, 30! Look at how greedy I am. Have you ever seen anyone as greedy as me in your life? Look how greedy this is. Like I'm so set right now. Just look at it. Isn't it beautiful how greedy I am? Now let's actually talk about this. That's orbed. Okay, cool. It's perfect. It's max time. I think we actually vocal with here. It sucks that like you're actually using the it sucks that you're using the ancient power. I think Meteor Beam is still just a lot better. I don't think you want max flare. It's obviously like super effective, but not as like I think you just gotta get the Volcalith up. Volcalith's up, yo. And the CC, baby, locking it in, lock and loaded. Let's see what you got. Big Colossal Energy. I cannot believe we got away with a greedy play like that. And again, we wouldn't have had to play that greedy, I feel, if we were not running a Scarf Urshifu. We pretty much locked ourselves into that play by running Scarf. I think actually just like Assault Vest would be so much better overall here. We'll see what we can get done here. You got some sort of CC baby, that big damage. Lapras going down for the count. Just destroying a Lapras right now. Absolutely ending its career. And let's see if we can one-shot a Serena. Serena's a really bulky mom. We do have a weakness policy proc, but more importantly than that, we're setting up the Volcalith here. He didn't set a Resonance. He has the Rain actually set for us, so we can use the remainder of our mons pretty well. And looks like we don't get the KO, but Meteor Beam, like I was talking about, would have actually got the KO. So like, oh, he didn't even go after the good mon. You totally go after the Urshifu. You can even kill it. Yeah, you can. This just lets me get set up on another mon. I'm probably gonna send the Toxtricity out, because like look at this damage. You're gone, right? You're done, so. Oh my gosh, it's so good. But we actually, Meteor Beam is an upgrade. It's a move to remove in the Isle of Armor, so you might want to be checking that one out. Let's actually think about this. Who do we actually want to use? I think the Tox is actually just pretty nice here, because like they're gonna have to respect the Colossal this turn. So I'm gonna be able to get a free Throat Spray proc. They might KO the Cole, and then I can just send the Talonflame and go for a Throat Spray boosted move and go for like a Tailwind. There's the Talonflame right there. Remember, we do have the rocks ticking. Rocks are ticking, and ooh, it's a Raichu. Yeah, so I don't really care about a Raichu. Let's just go for a Max Guard for one turn to get those free rocks procs. And I guess I can still just Overdrive, right? Yeah, I might as well just do it. I could also Snarl, but I think the Overdrive's fine. I don't mind giving special attack procs to the Raichu, because like Raichu can't do anything to this Toxtricity. And you could totally try and Tailwind me and do a bunch of other cool stuff, but I think this is the right play. I wonder if he's probably going to be going for the Brave Bird. Heat Wave. Yo, you can't tell me this man does not want it right now. Heat Wave in the rain. Yo. Give me even more Steam Sieges. Yo. Never lucky. Heat Wave burns. I've been hit by so many Heat Wave burns recently. Yeah, Tailwind, that might would have actually would have O-code. So get a Lightning Rod proc. Remember, Lightning Rod redirects, but it doesn't redirect like AoE attacks. This is still going to hit the Talonflame. You can't save the Talonflame from this. And it's going to give me a Throat Spray proc. And we have the Volcalith damage coming back from in the back of the downtown over here. Oh, don't you just love it? When you actually ever get a Throat Spray proc, the game is just straight up over. Like, you are so ahead. Look how ahead we are. I've never been so ahead in my life. And now we just absolutely end this man's career. Another Volcalith. And, yeah, just go for a Sludge Bomb. We should be able to take this one. So I'm actually really surprised that game actually ended that way. That Lapras must have just been super, super aggressive for us to be able to do that much damage with Urshifu. And we will definitely take those wins. We will take them. And you know what? I'm feeling generous. You've all been quick. Another game. Let's go in another one. Here we go. I actually really like that team. I think Masharna is one of the coolest Pokemon. I think Ninetales is really, really good weather control against us. I do think we have the advantage if we want to go Sableye. And let's actually talk about that. I also think Talonflame's really, really good because we have the goggles to stop the hail damage and things like that. So we could always go for Tailwind if we wanted to. I do think we're actually just fine with going Sableye Kingdra though. I can just set the rain. And even if they wanted to weed Ninetales or switch in Ninetales, we can just set the rain dance to take away the weather, gain up our own weather, go for dragon attacks against Haxorus, go for water attacks against the Arcanine and things like that. So we should be in a pretty decent spot. I do not mind bringing Urshifu here. It's not necessarily an amazing mon, but the fact that we have a Choice Scarf makes we can outspeed the Choice Scarf Dracovish. And crits from the Surgeon Strikes do go through the Arcanine's Intimidate. And last but not least, I think I'm going to bring the Talonflame. Just in case they get up a cheeky TR, I might want to go like Urshifu Talonflame and rely on those priority moves to actually like seal the deal in a late game situation. So we don't actually have really good mons for defensive switching right now. But I think we can be okay. I think we can be okay. Now we would have more defensive options if we were using like a bulkier Talonflame set. Maybe I'll recommend one of those. And if we were using a bulkier Urshifu set, maybe someone should recommend one of those to give the team a little bit more versatility in this type of team situation. Let's see. Both of those are threats. I think I am going to take out the Dracovish though, because I'm pretty sure the Ninetales, yeah, Ninetales can go for Freeze Dries. Yeah, it can go for Blizzard. But I think if I just set the rain, double my speed, nuke that Vish, Vishes are a lot less likely to protect. And Ninetales might actually be going for an Aurora Veil. And if we activate Rain Dance, remember it's a priority move boosted by Prankster, it'll make it so their Aurora Veil will not be able to work. So big Wormwind, boosted by the Life Orb, should be able to KO this Dracovish. And I think we should be in a good spot. I don't think Freeze Dry would one-shot our Kingdra either. So we'll see. And then technically we do have Shadow Sneak, so we can just go for a double tap next turn if it is actually that Sash Ninetales, which is, you know, been so popular on that Pokemon for the past few years. So see, he's thinking. He has his thought process muscles flexing right now. Just go for a Freeze Dry, bro. It's 4 times super effective. Guys, remember, Freeze Dry is an Ice type attack that deals super effective damage to Water mons. So, like, since Kingdra's a Water Dragon, it's going to do a lot more. They're actually hard reading us. I wonder if they're going for a TR. Like, next turn. Like, I wonder what they're doing. You know, I guess they also just go for a Moonblast, right? There's so many things you can do with this Ninetales. But I think the high chance here is that they're probably going to want to set an Aurora Veil, right? I'm really seeing the Aurora Veil come to play here. And we'll see. Are you veiling it up, bro? Rain Dance, no more hail. Not today. And what move could they actually use? Like, let's talk about it. Let's get some weird moves. Because Sheer Cold me? Sheer Cold my Sableye? So Wormwind, I'd like this if this did about 40%. Yeah, way more than that. I was thinking he was going to go full HP special. It looks like it's probably like an HP defense build. So, like, I was thinking it was going to be way bulkier. That thing pretty much has, like, the stat lines of a Cresselia, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Aurora Veil. And it fizzles. And it fizzles. And all we have to do now, I think we could actually probably get away with taunting that thing. And I think I will. If he has Mental Herb, he has Mental Herb. You know, there's not that much I can realistically do in that situation. I could also double tap that Ninetales with a Shadow Sneak Geyser. He just scooped. I'll take it. Yeah, Mocha, you know, not today. Not Mocha Schmocha Latte. Not today, Chief. And you know what? That game was super quick. But I do feel that it's a great segue into looking at the rental code. And generally, let's start breaking down the team. Because remember, all of these teams are submitted by you wonderful people on Patreon. But, you know, the reason you submit them is to get them used by me, get my thoughts, get my ideas on how they're built, and then get them tweaked by me. So let's look at the rental code that was submitted and talk about how we can actually make the team the best it can be. All right, so here is the submitted rental code. This is the second team that we're taking a look at. Remember last week we looked at that contrary team. That was actually a lot of fun. But this team actually has a lot going for it. I really do like the Kingdra Sableye in conjunction with like the Rain Dance. We can always control the weather, and then just Kingdra's such a good Pokemon right now. Good in almost every single matchup. Really like that. 4 aggressive, attacks in that situation. Really, really cool. Love the Life Orb. Love those two together. Some of my favorite synergy in the game. The Colossal here adds a lot of value, but again, Colossal, it's really, really hard to get that Steam Engine proc on this guy. I guess you could like switch it in for a Fire type attack or something. Maybe, you know, the person who submitted the team has a little more insight. But as it looks to me, your only real way of proccing your Steam Engine and in turn your weakness policy is a Aqua Jet from your Choice Scarf Urshifu, and in just reality, I'm not thinking that's that much value. If you're going to be using a Choice Scarf Aqua Jet, and you're Dynamaxing or Gmaxing your Colossal, you're going to make it so, yeah, Colossal's set and ready to go, but you've effectively made it so your Urshifu is locked into Aqua Jet, so you have to switch it. You don't really have that many good defensive switches, and so I feel the idea for the team is really cool. I also like the Toxtricity Talonflame. I love those two synergy together, but it just falls short in just a couple small things where, item choices on like the Sableye don't really make that much sense in the Urshifu. A couple moveset choices like the Shadow Sneak on the Sableye is not that great. And, what I'm going to be doing is fixing those things right now. So let's actually take a look at the team paste bin that was submitted so we can actually see the list that was submitted with all the EVs. We're going to look at these Pokemon one at a time. And you can see right here. So I really like some of these EVs. Like, I love how bulky this Toxtricity spread is, and I actually think this is the same Toxtricity spread that I used when I fixed a previous Patreon team a couple days ago, right down here. Yeah, so it was the same Toxtricity spread from when I fixed, or when I used this Patreon team like a couple weeks ago. So, it's a great spread. I think it's just really, really good. It puts the nature in the right spot. Let me just find the team again right there. Yeah, I think it puts the nature in the right spot, and I do think it just is a decent way to make a really bulky set that's technically still fast enough to outspeed other common threats and work at +1. You guys want to always make sure to... also, I forgot. Whenever you guys submit teams, make sure to make these level 50. I was going to change it, but this is the one that was submitted. Always make sure to make them level 50, and always make sure to have the correct items. It says the Sableye is supposed to have an eject button on the paste bin that was submitted, but you guys can see that the Sableye has a red card, which is a very different item. Similar, but different. So let's get back to what we're looking at. So I do think that you got most of your EVs right, though. The Toxtricity, you copied it from a, you were probably inspired by the EV spread that I used on the other one, which was a great set, and it works here. Talonflame, I like what you're doing here. Jolly, pretty good. Safety Goggles, it's a pretty good Talonflame set. It does exactly what it should do, and that's great. Your Urshifu, you're running a Scarf set, which we've actually talked about using. I think it's just a pretty good Scarf set if you're going to use Scarf, but we do need to optimize it just a little bit, which we will do in a little bit. And your Colossal set, it's a little bit all over the place. You have... Yeah, this is where I don't get it. It's like, you actually do still need speed investment on this Pokemon to outspeed common threats. So, like, yeah, Steam Engine can, like, ×6 your speed, but if you're multiplying a times, like, a 30 base, you're still, like, way too slow to still even outspeed base 100. So you actually have to put a lot of points in speed, which we'll be fixing. The Sableye set, it can be a little bit better. You don't even need that attack. It's not really needed. Also, the 8 points are wasted here, because remember, these are actually getting set to level 50 to where it goes 4, 12, 20. You're wasting those points, those last 4 points in attack. You can put those anywhere else. We're going to mess with that a little bit. And then the Kingdra set is full timid, and I don't remember if I keep that, but there are reasons to still be full timid, and that means that it makes it so Duraludons have to speed tie you to actually outspeed if you don't have range. So that is the team that was submitted. We're going to take a look at the changes that I've made up here, right here. Perfect. So yeah, I changed a lot of this stuff. So you don't really need that much speed on a Kingdra, because remember, we just need enough speed. Let me just make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah, you just need enough speed. I think this actual number is for outspeeding base 1. Oh, what number is that? What Pokemon is this Kingdra outspeed at +2? What was it? I think it was Inteleons or Talonflames or something like that. It might have also been something weird. Let me actually just run the numbers right now. Let me actually just run the numbers real quick and find out what it was supposed to outspeed. Because remember, I feel like a lot of like, you know, Twitch streamers and, you know, Pokemon YouTubers, they, you know, YouTubists actually, they don't do a really good job of explaining like why the sets do what they're supposed to do. So let's pull this over here. The Kingdra had 164. And so what am I trying to outspeed? Because I built these sets like a few days ago. So we just go Kingdra here. And we set it to 50, always make sure. And remember, this is PokemonShowdown.com. This is the calculator for that. So I have 164. And it's going to be preferably in the range. So like what number is this actually hitting? It's hitting 252. So what Mon goes to 250 that I'm not thinking of? And yeah, I was trying to think about what this Kingdra set like actually outspeeds. And it outspeeds base 100 Mon. So that's things like Charizard at +1. So if they have like an Arcanine or Darmanitan that's Choice Scarf, those are base 95s, you're going to be outspeeding those. If they have a Charizard that already has an Airstream boost, Kingdra in the rain will always outspeed that base 100 Mon that has that +1 speed boost. So it's actually a really cool calc, and it makes it so we're actually still kind of fast, even if we don't have the rain, which is pretty valuable for this type of set. This Colossal set is very, very similar. It only has 108 speed, so it's hitting the same threshold of outspeeding base. Let me actually just look up. Colossal. Just make sure. I always think it's really important that like players give the reason behind their sets, like all their EVs. I'm pretty sure it hits the same number if we go to +6. 492, not really, go to 50. So 256, yeah, relatively same number. So it's going to be outspeeding, I think. Yeah, there's still outspeeding base 100s at +1. At +1. So these are already outspeeding Charizards. These are already outspeeding Jolteons, things like that. These are outspeeding them once they've already like been established. So this is actually really cool because it lets your opponent go for like an all-in turn 1 where they get like an Airstream boost or you get Icy Winded or Max Striked. And like we still don't care. Like we still have the correct speed control to be bulky, right? But then also still outspeed them once they're already ahead. And I think that's the perfect example of what like min-maxing and optimizing an EV spread is. Note that we still have 252 special attack, and then we have a little bit of bulk here in both defense and special D. I might be able to optimize this just a little bit more, but that was the most efficient way to spend the EVs right there. You want to go higher in the defense than the HP because you want to block not only physical attacks from like our Urshifu, but a little bit of special attacks as well. So that's why you want to put a little bit in the HP. Remember, you get double boost from your HP when you're in Dynamax mode. So I think it's a really, really cool Colossal set. And note that I changed the Ancient Power to Meteor Beam. It's twice the power, right? And yeah, it has to be a charge move when you're not in max mode, but in a max mode situation, you're just one-shotting things and setting your rocks, which is really nice. Also note that I took off, this is not supposed to be Ice, it's supposed to be Draco Meteor. Watch out, I accidentally took the wrong move out, but I wanted to remind you guys that Draco Meteor is just a little bit better, and you don't really need the Ice to set your weather. You want to just keep the Draco Meteor in that situation. Talonflame set, you actually had it right on the dot. Love the safety goggles, love everything about this set, and you did a really good job with it. The Urshifu, though, you did a really good job, but again, we'd be so much better off. I really do like the Rock Slide tech, and since we're already running 4 offensive attacks, I just think an Assault Vest would be much better on this thing. Yeah, the Vest set isn't as good when you're slamming close combats, but it makes it so you're not locked into that really one-dimensional playstyle of like, oh no, I'm scarfed, I'm fine. Remember, our team has the correct speed control using Talonflame. Colossal and Kingdra are made to come back from behind. Toxtricity can paralyze things. Sableye can quash things. You don't need to be scarfed to make this Urshifu set still outspeed all the threats and just have a lot of impact in the game. And we actually don't want this to be Gmax. Remember to say no to Gmax. Bam. So no Gmax. Gmax, go away. Go away, coming back never. We want to take away that thing's ability to be Gmax. There. Urshifu. Rapid Strike. I'll just re-put it all in right now. Assault Vest. See how long this takes? We have Aqua Jet. We have Surging Strikes. We have Rock Slide, and we have Close Combat. And it's going to take no time at all. Watch this. Rock Slide. Close Combat. And I even remembered all the EVs because it's almost like I played the game. And also, you want to use that plus Speed Nature still here because we still want to be outspeeding those like base 95s like Arcanine and things like that. So we still want to be doing those things. Bam, we fixed it. It's pretty good. And we want to use this one so we can set the rain for our Kingdra. So we just have that ability to, have more weather control in that situation. You had the Toxtricity right on the dot. I kept everything about this set, even the Throat Spray. I think it's actually just a really good set, and you did a really good job. So Toxicity, very underrated Gmax right now, and really good defensive typing, especially for this team. I love Toxicity Talonflame. The Sableye set, this is the correct way to actually get the most bang for your buck on Sableye's EVs, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, it goes 119. If we just take one out, it goes to 121. So it's the perfect way, if you're putting nature over there, to actually get the bang for your buck. And you may think like that, so you should put the points in defense and special D. You actually can't hit this number, which is actually a really important number to have versus the Pre-Marina matchup. You're able to actually outlive the Pre-Marina max move boosted off of the Hydro Vortex if you have with this spread, so it's actually really, really nice. And I did keep your eject button. Like, I did keep the eject button, but I don't like it. Like, I really am not a fan of it. I think you'd be much better off. Again, when people submit teams, I want to do my best to actually keep your team the way that it was meant to be submitted. I don't want to change too many things. And, you know, I could put Trick on here as well. Again, I didn't really want to break your team up that much. I think Sash would be a much better option here. So if you want the Sash, this updated paste bin will be inside of the, you know, video that I'm making right now. You know, it'll have the Kingdra with Draco, which was my fault. It'll have the Urshifu with the not Gmax, which was, again, my fault. And it will have the Prankster Sableye with the Sash, which I actually just think is better in this team overall. And also note that I switched out your Shadow Sneak for foul play. Being able to have a stabbed foul play is so good. It's highly underrated, and it's one of Sableye's actually greatest strengths. So again, that is, you know, this whole team. Let me know in the comments below if you guys are liking this little series where I actually go and I explain the reasons why, you know, I choose the moves that I do when I fix teams, and I choose the items, and I choose the, you know, the EVs. I think the EVs are really important. Like I talked about Kingdra having to outspeed base 100s, Colossal being able to bulk out your own self-proccing attacks while still outspeed base 100s, both those being at +1. I talked about the Sableye living the potential max move from the Pre-Marina if you have this exact EV spread, which also, case in turn, gives you more points in your special D by going with that exact number with nature and stuff like that. So let me know if you're ordering stuff. Let me know if you like this series. If you want to check out some of the Patreon teams, there's a link to that in the description of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.